Oh yeah, Daredevil recap. Complete history before Daredevil Born Again. I'm excited for Daredevil to come out. Check it out.
I'm Eric Voss, and this is a complete recap of everything you need to know going into Daredevil Born Again. This is a breakdown of the full historical timeline of like 11 titles across Netflix and Disney Plus. Every freaking time Daredevil, Matt Murdock, and Kingpin Wilson Fisk drop out of the sky or resurrect with an eye patch, the long journey this upcoming season has taken to get here, who everyone on this show is, and really just a cheat sheet to cover you before the first two episodes
Bruh.
drop on March 4th. Now, if you
I
want
heard them talking about the new Daredevil, and that shit sounded exciting, bro. And then they got the Punisher in it too. Shit.
This weekend, and we've been waiting for Daredevil Born Again so long, and we're going to be covering every episode with same night couch reactions, followed by next day Q&As over on the Break Room channel, followed by in-depth scene-by-scene Easter egg breakdowns back here on New Rockstars. So please subscribe to all the channels.
Jessica Jones gonna be in it.
Daredevil introduced us to Matt Murdock, the son of boxer Batlin Jack Murdock, a kid who gets blinded in a chemical accident. After Jack was murdered, Matt came under the tutelage of also blind mentor.
I forgot about that old man stick.
Through the world as an agile fighter. As an adult, Matt settles in Hell's Kitchen, New York, as a devout.
Been a long time since I watched that.
As an attorney with best friend Foggy Nelson. These two running up a tab at Josie's bar, while Matt patrols the streets as a vigilante known as the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. While this
It started Daredevil, bro.
was produced by a different division of Marvel than Kevin Feige's Marvel Studios film division, it was at first conceived to be part of the MCU, with vague references to the Battle of New York and to the Avengers, and that includes a real estate conspiracy plot exploiting the rebuilding efforts after the 2012 battle, and that is what connects Matt and Foggy to Karen Page, embroiled in this Union Allied scandal, making her a target to the criminal factions of the city. And we meet the chief.
That's the original series, I'm guessing. Nah, that was crazy, bro. What the hell? Kingpin, bro.
And as we'll see in the season, his new art dealer girlfriend Vanessa. We also meet the
She's gonna be in it too.
Reporter Ben Urich, who ends up getting killed by Wilson Fisk. Criminal informant.
Man, I forgot about. I gotta watch that shit again.
Suit designer Melvin Potter and Fisk's ill-fated assistant Wesley, who gets gunned down by Karen. We also meet other criminal factions led by Owlsley, the Russians, Madame Gao, and Nobu. This season has some incredible stunt choreography, including an iconic hallway long take sequence put together by
No. Punisher, bro.
war with the hand, showing he's not afraid to hurt a kid. While Wilson Fisk steps out of the shadows to clean up the city, he gets exposed as the monster he really is, and Matt beats him in a fight, getting Fisk imprisoned. We broke down the entire season.
He's gonna be married again, I think.
Just a quick reminder that if you are so excited for Daredevil Born Again as we are, one of the best ways you can celebrate this amazing moment is to grab one of these Justice and Punishment shirts that are inspired by Daredevil and Punisher, exclusive on our merch store. I'm gonna be wearing this shirt.
That shit kinda clean, I ain't gonna lie.
On to Daredevil season 2. This season picks up with Foggy knowing about Matt's vigilante behavior, but Karen's still oblivious to it. We meet Frank Castle, a deadly vigilante.
Oh yeah.
Was murdered. Matt defends Frank Castle in his murder trial, but Frank says, "I did it because I like."
No.
Uses Frank to start a prison riot.
That was the scene. I think.
Pursues a relationship with Karen. Matt's flame from his earlier years. Electra Nachios returns in his life as Stick's other protege, and
Yeah, Daredevil was getting with everyone.
Midland Circle, which we learn is part of a plot by the Hand. Frank ends up saving Matt's life while Matt fights warriors from the Hand with Electra at his side, but Electra dies, but is ultimately just put in a resurrection chamber by the Hand. Matt reveals to Karen that he is the Daredevil, and we broke down season 2 episode by episode in this video. Now, the next appearance of Matt Murdock was in the
They brought her back, I think.
which merges the storylines of Daredevil and Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. As the Hand's operation deepens in the bowels of Midland Circle, the four heroes' paths cross as they work to stop the Hand, led by Alexandra, Sigourney Weaver, and the newly resurrected Elektra, now known as the human weapon Black Sky. Stick tries to help them with his group The Chase, but he fails and he dies. Elektra goes rogue and kills Alexandra. The defenders successfully stop the Hand by bringing the building down upon the pit, and Matt stays with Elektra as she dies under the collapsing rubble, but Matt ultimately survives. We broke down
Bro, how?
episode by episode in this video. Now, Netflix
How is that even possible, bro?
Punisher, and Frank Castle Castle is returning and Born Again, and we just learned a Punisher special presentation by Marvel Studios on Disney Plus will air sometime.
Oh yeah.
So we should recap this guy. Frank Castle was a Marine who served in Afghanistan and worked with a Black Ops group called Operation Cerberus that started to get too involved in torture.
That Punisher series was insane, and then the intro song, theme song, whatever. That shit was cold.
Legal counsel in Daredevil season 2. But after his escape from prison, we catch it back up with him in Punisher season 1 when he's found by Micro, a hacker played by Eben Masbakrak, who, yes, is returning to the MCU as Ben Grimm in Fantastic Four Steps. And Frank
The multiverse.
Investigation to find those really responsible for the deaths of his family, and the same people now trying to kill him for leaving them the blacksmith, Colonel Ray Schoonover. Frank gets his vengeance, but he's not done. In season 2, the devil from his past is his fellow former Marine Billy Russo, aka Jigsaw. The last we see of Frank Castle, he has now embraced his Punisher identity.
Yes, sir.
As he mows down a gang of criminals.
Executioner.
To Luke Cage in the form of a Harlem's Paradise sign in Times Square. We're not certain if Luke Cage or Jessica Jones
He did that.
or
Oh.
Iron Fist will appear in the series, but let's talk about these three characters. Jessica Jones had 3 seasons on Netflix, the first of which was very, very, very good. Jessica is a super strong and invulnerable private investigator at Alias Investigations, and she loves drinking.
Watch that too.
Fighting Kilgrave, the Purple Man, perhaps one of the greatest Marvel villains we've seen on screen. He can control anyone's actions with a mere suggestion, and he is terrifying to watch. In this show, we also meet Trish Walker, Jessica's lifelong friend, who is a talk show host, and someone who gets a very odd villain arc in season 3 of the show under the name Hellcat. And technically, she remains imprisoned on the Raft, the floating island prison that we see in Captain America: Brave New World.
I wonder, they need to make a video of who's in the Raft, because there's a lot of people now.
Will Simpson, aka Nuke. Jessica Jones is also how we first met Luke Cage, because they hook up and destroy a lot of furniture.
Hey, yo.
Luke Cage got 2 seasons of his own on Netflix.
I remember that.
Exploring his role as Harlem's Power Man, who underwent experiments at Seagate Prison that made him invulnerable and super strong.
Sweet Christmas.
Willis Stryker, who is also technically now imprisoned on the Raft, as well as Cornell Stokes and Mariah Stokes. Cornell Stokes is played by Mahershala Ali, who will be recast as Blade in Marvel Studios. We also get to know Detective Misty Knight better on this series, and she ends up getting her biocomics.
She was over there feeling like Bucky.
Paradise nightclub. So the billboard in Times Square in Daredevil Born Again is a decent indicator that he will either appear or at least get referenced in this corner of the MCU. Iron Fist also.
Okay, bring everyone.
The first one was very rushed and not beloved among the fans, but the second one definitely improved. This show follows Danny Rand as a kid from a wealthy family who loses his parents in a plane crash, but ends up becoming the immortal Iron Fist after receiving training in Kunlun. This series also introduces us to martial artist Colleen Wing. But we need to move on to Daredevil season 3.
They need to add Daredevil to Marvel Rivals.
Criminal empire and reunite with Vanessa come to fruition. He cuts a deal with the FBI to inform on other criminal organizations and gets released into protective custody, but the FBI overseeing this deal all end up in his pocket, worried about what he'll do to their families, and just do his bidding to take out all the other rival criminal organizations in the city. Fisk also figures out that Matt Murdock is Daredevil and frames Matt Murdock for various crimes using mentally unstable FBI agent Benjamin Poindexter, aka Dex, aka Bullseye, to do this by masquerading as a fake Daredevil. Dex is terrifyingly unwell throughout the season and ends up killing Father Lantum, and that's not even the worst.
Oh man, not the priest.
For DA against Blake Tower this season. After we met Blake Tower in season 2 of Daredevil, we also learned Karen's backstory as a former drug dealer involved in the death of her brother Kevin in an incident with her violent boyfriend Todd. Dex crashes Fisk and Vanessa's wedding, leading to a super brutal final brawl that bloodies up Fisk's precious rabbit in a snowstorm painting. Matt restrains himself from killing Fisk and forces him to back down by threatening to imprison Vanessa because it was her who had ordered Dex to kill FBI agent Ray. They end up unmasking the fake Daredevil and they restart their law firm, rebranding it as Nelson, Murdoch, and Page. Also, since Fisk had broken Dex's spine, the very last shot of the season is Dex getting spinal surgery to fix it with the mysterious.
Now we got Bullseye.
It's adamantium, and the surgeon in the scene who does it is related to Lady Deathstrike from the X-Men world. Captain America: Brave New World established adamantium in this universe.
Well, we're gonna get the first batch of it.
So we will see if Daredevil Born Again
Well, second,
his spine back to being adamantium. While this
technically.
Daredevil Born Again season carries the title of Born Again, this third season back on Netflix in 2018 2018 was the truer adaptation of the Born Again 1986 comic storyline by Frank Miller. We break down season 3 episode by episode in a video coming out this weekend. Captain America Brave New World is such a fun, paranoid political thriller. It does a great job of showing
I
how
thought it was already over. I was about to say,
context can help
damn.
protect you from being manipulated. That's what's so great about Straight Arrow News. They have free
I need me some sponsors, bro.
series, the big announcement coming with Daredevil season 3's release in late 2018. The final seasons of Jessica Jones and Punisher, which had already been shot, ended up getting released in 2019, and then we hit like a period of uncertainty. We didn't know what the future of these characters would be, but when it came to Daredevil, online campaigns
I want to see Punisher, bro, and Daredevil.
to revive these characters in other Marvel Studios
Them
movies
shits
and
were good.
shows. It didn't take long. In November 2021, Marvel Studios released their 6-episode Hawkeye series on Disney Plus, which followed Clint Barton Hawkeye and his new protege Kate Bishop in New York City in Christmas time as they dealt with the Tracksuit Mafia and their deaf assassin collaborator.
Tracksuit Mafia was crazy, bro.
His father William Lopez worked for the Tracksuit Mafia but was killed by Hawkeye during his killer assassin period during the blip years earlier. After his death, Maya ended up falling under the wing of a new father figure, William's boss, who is revealed to be the same Wilson Fisk Kingpin, who also, we learn, employs Kate Bishop's mother, Eleanor Bishop. The Hawkeye series establishes that Wilson Fisk has been active with the Tracksuit Mafia as far back as 2007. Therefore, by the time Matt Murdock realized who he was in the first season of Daredevil, Fisk was well entrenched in the city's criminal underworld. Now, in this Hawkeye series, at one point we see Kingpin rip a car door clean off its hinges, but he did not have that kind of
Oh, God.
in the Daredevil series on Netflix. He just wore body armor and was pretty strong. This series also introduces Jack Duquesne, aka Swordsman, Eleanor's new boyfriend and an expert fencer, and he is confirmed to return in Daredevil Born Again. Hawkeye ends with Maya Lopez.
They didn't have a lot of people, bro.
Father, and Maya shoots Wilson Fisk in the eye, but we learn he survives. Now, in the same way,
They didn't do nothing to him, bro.
Sony and Marvel Studios released Spider-Man
Well,
No
I
Way
guess
Home.
the eye
Peter
shit.
Parker finds himself in legal hot water after Mysterio reveals his identity to the world and frames him for the damage to European cities. Matt Murdock steps in to legally defend Peter against his charges from the DODC. Matt successfully gets Peter's charges dropped, but is less successful with Happy Hogan. Actually, there was a deleted scene from that movie that showed a more tense legal exchange with the DODC on Happy's behalf. This movie also gave us a glimpse of Daredevil's powers when he catches a brick that's thrown through Peter's window. Now, No Way Home ends with Doctor Strange conjuring a memory wipe spell that made the
Bro, we need to see Daredevil and
The public did not
Spider-Man
know
interaction.
Spider-Man exists. They just forgot the identity of the kid who's under the mask. I bring this up because we have gotten confirmation that in episode 2
Like on the series,
reference that Matt Murdock had
and them in their
quote a kid dressed like a spider.
suits, I guess, costumes, whatever.
In the Marvel Disney Plus series She-Hulk in 2022, which takes place in the following year after the events of No Way Home. Now, No Way Home seems to take place in the calendar year of 2024, from summer to November to December. So at this point in the MCU timeline, we'd be in the calendar year of 2025. LA area attorney and cousin to Bruce Banner, Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, represents Eugene Patillo, aka Leapfrog, in a lawsuit against superhero suit designer Luke Jacobson, who also has Matt Murdock as a client. In the courtroom, Matt and Jen debate the issue of superhero privacy, and Matt reveals to us that the Sokovia Accords from Captain America Civil War had been repealed at that point. Matt and Jen grab drinks where Matt references his law firm of Nelson, Murdock, and Page, mostly now taking on pro bono
Freak yeah.
in between a few high-profile clients. But we learn that Leapfrog has kidnapped Jacobson, and Matt suits up in a West Coast version of his suit with red and gold coloring, a reference to his classic yellow and red suit from the early comics, but also, one could argue, are the colors of his father Batlin Jack's boxing robe. She-Hulk and Daredevil team up to stop Leapfrog and save Jacobson, and their romantic chemistry turns into a night of sex and a morning.
That's what I was talking about, bro.
Should have been a wrap for Murdoch, but the way the
Shaking my head.
Jen Walters breaks the fourth wall and breaks into the Marvel vault on the Disney lot in Burbank to demand that Kevin Robot retcon her storyline so that instead of dealing with like Hulk Todd and a predictable Hulk battle with the intelligentsia bros, she gets to hook back up with Daredevil. And Matthew Murdock literally drops back into reality like a Fortnite character and joins the family barbecue with Jen as they all have to look at Hulk's son Scar's awful haircut. Yes, we have to somehow mentally reconcile.
That was so bad, bro.
The bloody R-rated world of the first 3 seasons of Daredevil suddenly found himself teleported like 50 feet in the air to reunite with his hulked out hookup on the West Coast. Is that memory now running through the mind of Matt Murdock on this upcoming season? I don't know, but you know, I'm sure any New Yorker who spends a week in LA can tell you that this kind of thing is par for the course. Meanwhile, Wilson Fisk returned in the Echo Marvel Spotlight series in 2024. Daredevil also cameos on this show as we learn that Matt Murdock fought Maya
For a little
at
bit.
some point during her time working under Wilson Fisk after after the events of Daredevil Season 3, which now canonically must have occurred during the blip period, telling us that Matt Murdock survived the blip. But now, in the present day, we follow Maya Lopez back to her hometown in Oklahoma, and she learns how Fisk's crime operation extends far west of New York. Maya targets a train from Fisk's shipping company and uses it to bomb one of his warehouses in Brooklyn. This gets Fisk's attention, and he finds Maya in Oklahoma with an eye patch. He forces her to wear contacts that show augmented reality arms signing everything he says, and a technology he had developed so that they could freely converse without an intermediary. Fisk asks Maya to return to New York with him, offering his whole empire to her. When Maya comes to kill him, he shows her the hammer that he used to kill his father and asks her to use it to kill him, but she refuses. In the final battle of this series, Maya channels the powers of her ancestors and uses this power to touch Fisk's eye and his heart, reverting him to his childhood bedroom on a night his father was abusing his mother, seeing the peeling paint reminding him of the rabbit in the snowstorm painting. Now, it's not clear if Maya healed him fully, but Fisk is just left wondering what exactly Maya did to him. In the post-credit scene, Fisk returns to New York, planning to gather the heads, and reacts to a news broadcast about New Yorkers seeking.
They actually had him kingpin in a lot of things. I forgot.
She-Hulk and Echo, and that's really just because
They just been cameos for the most part.
videos on this channel, and I suspect if you're watching this video right now, you might have skipped out on Echo and She-Hulk. Now, other important things to know about the MCU in recent years going into this Daredevil Born Again show. 1. Across the Hudson in Jersey City, Kamala Khan is now Ms. Marvel, a mutant with cosmic hard light powers, and she recently teamed up with Carol Danvers and Monica Rambeau and Nick Fury to deal with the Kree zealot Dar-Benn. In the Marvel's post
Oh my gosh.
teamed up with Kate Bishop to start to form the Young Avengers. And I bring up Kamala because we know her father, Yusuf Khan, will appear on this Daredevil Born Again series. Next, Avengers Tower.
Thanks. So she's gonna be in Daredevil too?
Constructed by CIA Director Val into Sentry's Watchtower, and we will see what happens to Manhattan in the Thunderbolts film, which will come out right after the 9 episodes of this first Daredevil Born Again series finish.
Shit, that shit's good timing, bro.
Established that Bucky Barnes is running for Congress in a federal district in the New York area, an election that we know he will win by the time of the Thunderbolts movie. So many of the people in Daredevil Born Again had Bucky Barnes on their ballot recently. Also, Captain America Brave New World established that adamantium is now being widely distributed and traded and applied in various means throughout the world of the MCU. And finally,
You're gonna get crazy, bro. Everybody gonna have a Wolverine.
Foundation, an organization that uses Pimtech in philanthropic and innovative ways. I only bring them up because in trailer footage for Daredevil Born Again, the Pim Van Dyne Foundation.
Happy New Year.
This New Year's Eve celebration is. And lastly, the Statue of Liberty in the MCU is copper colored as of the Marvels. This was part of a restoration project in Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't know if it's relevant to this Daredevil Born Again show, but if any shots show Liberty Island and Lady Liberty is copper colored, that would be why. It's also important to know going into the show, it's somewhat complicated development history. When this show was initially announced in 2022, it was going to be one 18-episode season, and other than
It should be.
Vincent D'Onofrio returning in their roles, it was not at all clear how, if at all, this series would connect to the 3 seasons on Netflix. Vanessa actress Ayla Zurer was initially recast with Sandrine Holt. Set photos showed a different young actor playing young Matt, suggesting a retconned origin story for Matt Murdock. They reportedly shot 6 episodes of this version of the show before the labor union strike.
That's it. It's not it, bruh.
In summer 2023, which gave Marvel Studios some time to check in on the show's progress. And reportedly, at the urging of Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, the studio creatively overhauled the series, brought in a new showrunner, Dario Scardapane, Loki and Moon Knight directors Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, and
The moon haunts you.
Actors Deborah Ann Wool, Eldon Henson, Ayla Zurer, John Bernthal, and stunt coordinator Phil Silvera. This reconceived version of the show is now 2 9-episode seasons, essentially a continuation of the Netflix run. But since it firmly establishes the Netflix seasons as MCU canon, it also implies that the somewhat wild swings taken in all of those shows, including Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones, are all also MCU canon. And it's just gonna take us a while to sort all that out, but you know, it's MCU canon that the Statue of Liberty is brown and Matt Murdock dropped out of the freaking sky, so who cares? Now, we broke down the trailer for the season in January and how this season is gonna explore Wilson Fisk as the newly elected mayor of New York City, as well as the return of Dex, Bullseye, and newcomer villains like Hector Ayala, White Tiger, played by the actor Camar de los Reyes, who sadly passed away in 2023, as well as the character Muse, a Banksy.
See, that's what I like. You gotta have a lot of different villains.
Gandolfini, son of James, is playing Fisk's protege Daniel Blake.
Cause why not?
Playing Heather Glenn, Matt's new love interest. Janaea Walton is playing BB Urich, a reporter with some family connection to Ben Urich. Jeremy Earl plays Cole North, a cop who's part of an anti-vigilante task force. And the directors have promised some action and heartbreaking twists as this new season explores the consequences of extreme violence. And that is really everything for now you need to know going into Daredevil Born Again. We will have you covered every week with late night reactions,
That's good.
on the Break Room channel, and in-depth Easter egg breakdowns of every episode. episode, Hero New Rock.
Good, and you?
Comment down below with your thoughts, and please support us by joining the channel as a member for ad-free versions of select videos. Grab a great nerdy gift from our merch store, nerdright.shop. Follow me at EA Boss and subscribe.
That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.